Brace yourselves for a journey behind the palace walls as I unveil the shocking revelations surrounding Princess Diana's most guarded secrets. Today, we will be diving into a topic that has been shrouded in mystery: Diana's demons. Scandalous secrets of Princess Diana's controversial diet is revealed. Get ready to witness the untold drama that rocked the royal family.
We interrupt this film to tell you we are getting reports that Diana, Princess of Wales, has been badly injured in a car crash in France.
Diana, Princess of Wales, killed in a car accident in Paris.
Diana, Princess of Wales, has been seriously injured.
Few minutes that Diana, Princess of Wales, has been seriously injured in a car crash in Paris.
Diana is seriously injured and 2 other people have died following a car crash.
Welcome, royal enthusiasts. I'm Laura, and you've entered the realm where glamour meets scandal. Today, we're turning back the pages of history to uncover the controversies that surrounded the people's Princess Diana. We'll unravel the hidden facets of her life, focusing on a topic that remained concealed behind the glittering facade: her controversial diet. Diana, Princess of Wales, was the initial spouse of Prince Charles, the now King of the United Kingdom, and the mother of Prince William and Prince Harry. Born as Diana Frances Spencer, she assumed the title Lady Diana Spencer when her father inherited the Earl Spencer title in 1975. Diana came into the world on July 1st, 1961, in the vicinity of Sandringham, England. Her parents were Edward John Spencer and Frances Ruth. Among her siblings were 2 older sisters, Jane and Sarah, and a younger brother, Charles Spencer. Unfortunately, Diana had a brother named John who passed away in infancy a year before her birth. Notably, both of her grandmothers, Cynthia Spencer and Ruth, served as ladies-in-waiting to the Queen's mother, Elizabeth. In Diana's early years, her parents went through a divorce, which was prompted by the strain on their marriage, largely stemming from the pressure to produce a male heir before the birth of Charles. Diana's mother underwent medical examinations to determine the reason for not having a boy. According to Andrew Morton's book, Diana, Her True Story, Charles later expressed his belief that this strain was the primary cause of their divorce. Following the separation, Diana's father gained custody of the children. He subsequently married Reine, Countess of Dartmouth, with whom Diana had a strained relationship. Describing her childhood as very unhappy and very unstable, Diana received these insights from Morton. After initial home education, Diana attended Riddlesworth Hall School and later Westheath School. Despite her known shyness during her formative years, she exhibited an interest in music and dancing. The title of Lady Diana Spencer was bestowed upon her when her father inherited the Earl Spencer title in 1975. Notably fond of children, Diana, after completing finishing school in Switzerland, relocated to London. There she dived into working with children, eventually becoming an assistant at Young England Kindergarten. Diana encountered Prince Charles in 1977 while he was romantically involved with her older sister Sarah. Despite a significant 13-year age gap, Charles began considering her as a potential bride when they reconnected at a mutual friend's house in the summer of 1980. Given Charles' regular presence in the media spotlight, his courtship of Diana became a subject of public fascination. The press and the general audience found the pairing of the reversed garden-loving prince and the shy young woman with a keen interest in fashion and popular culture to be intriguing. Diana had the opportunity to meet Charles's family during a visit to Balmoral Castle in Scotland. She was warmly welcomed by Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip.
Since last Sunday's dreadful news, we have seen throughout Britain and around the world an overwhelming expression of sadness at Diana's death. We have all been trying in our different ways to cope. It is not easy to express a sense of loss, since the initial shock is often succeeded by a mixture of other feelings: disbelief, incomprehension, anger, and concern for those who remain.
After dating for just a few months, Charles proposed to Diana in Windsor Castle on February 3, 1981. She was taken aback and initially thought it might be a joke. The actual proposal took place on February 6, 1981, featuring an 18-karat white gold ring adorned with a 12-karat ovocelian sapphire, surrounded by 14 solitaire diamonds. Crafted by the crown jeweler Garrod, the design was said to be inspired by a brooch that Prince Albert had created in 1840 as a wedding gift for Queen Victoria. The ring was reported to cost Charles at the time $35,000. During a televised interview following their engagement, Charles and Diana attracted attention when asked about their love. Diana promptly replied, "Of course," while Charles, in a more reserved manner, added, "Whatever in love means," suggesting the phrase "in love" is subject to personal interpretation. That seems kind of weird. Like, I don't know. I feel like they were never really in love, per se, and it was kind of a forced relationship. I mean, obviously I can't speak for them, but my gut, and even just kind of seeing the body language and videos and photos of them together. Diana Spencer assumed the title of Diana, Princess of Wales, upon her marriage to Charles on July 29, 1981. The grand wedding took place at St. Paul's Cathedral, attended by 2,650 guests. The couple arrived separately and departed together, enjoying a carriage ride through the streets of London. Diana wore an elaborate wedding dress crafted from silk antique lace and adorned with 10,000 pearls. Designed by the husband and wife team in David and Elizabeth Emanuel, the dress, complemented by an 18th century Spencer family tiara and a 25-foot veil, was so voluminous that it barely fit in the carriage. It took Diana approximately 3.5 minutes to walk down the aisle. The globally televised royal wedding attracted nearly 1 billion viewers from 74 countries, with many considering it to be the wedding of the century. Let me know in the comments below if you watched the wedding. Diana departed from tradition during the ceremony by omitting the word obey from her vows, choosing to promise to love him, comfort him, honor him, and keep him in sickness and in health. This omission garnered attention and criticism from the media at the time. Following their enchanting wedding, Diana found herself burdened by the demands of her royal responsibilities and the relentless media scrutiny that was in almost every facet of her existence. Despite these challenges, she started to cultivate and follow her own passions. Diana emerged as a dedicated advocate for numerous charitable causes, particularly focusing on supporting the homeless, individuals affected by HIV and AIDS, and disadvantaged children. Diana and Charles became parents of 2 sons, Prince William, born on June 21, 1982, and Prince Harry, born on September 15, 1984. In January 1982, during her pregnancy with William, Diana, feeling depressed and inadequate in her marriage to Charles, intentionally threw herself down the stairs at Sandringham House Royal Residence in Norfolk. Fortunately, the baby was unharmed. Following William's birth, Diana grappled with postpartum depression and found the intense media scrutiny surrounding her pregnancy to be challenging. In 1983, when William was just 9 months old, Diana chose to break royal tradition by bringing him along during a planned 6-week tour of Australia and New Zealand, rather than parting with him. While this decision received some criticism, the public largely applauded Diana's appearance with the baby on the tour. Diana expressed that her connection with Charles reached its pinnacle, the closest we've ever been, during her pregnancy with Harry. Charles had anticipated a girl for their second child, and when Diana discovered it would be a boy, she chose not to disclose this information to Charles to maintain the newfound closeness between them. However, when Harry was born, Charles' initial words were, "Oh God, it's a boy." This deeply hurt Diana, and she considered this moment the turning point when she realized their marriage had gone down the drain. Over the years, Diana and Charles grew distant, and Diana grappled with depression and bulimia. Throughout their marriage, there were reports of infidelity from both sides. Notably, Diana was rumored to be involved with Major James Hewitt from 1986 to 1991, while Charles rekindled his relationship with his former girlfriend and future wife, Queen Camilla. And I think Charles just always wanted to be with Camilla. By the early 1990s, the visible unhappiness of Diana and Charles led the media to dub them the Glums. The formal announcement of Diana's separation from Charles came in December 1992 when British Prime Minister John Major read a statement from the royal family to the House of Commons. In a notorious 1995 interview with the BBC program Panorama, Diana questioned Charles' ability to handle the future role of king and commented on his relationship with Camilla. "Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." This interview proved to be the breaking point, and shortly thereafter, Queen Elizabeth encouraged Diana and Charles to officially end their marriage. And it's crazy Diana actually said that on television.
No one who knew Diana will ever forget her. Millions of others who never met her, but felt they knew her, will remember her.
Their divorce was officially concluded in August 1996. Diana was permitted to retain her residence at Kensington Palace along with other apartments that required advance permission for use. She was granted access to jets used by the royal family. However, Charles ceased covering her expenses post-divorce, significantly impacting her lifestyle and financial autonomy. Despite maintaining her title as Princess of Wales, Diana was stripped of the honorific Her Royal Highness, requiring her to curtsy to all former family members, including her ex-husband and children. While Queen Elizabeth II was reportedly willing to let her keep the title, Charles insisted forcefully on its removal. Additionally, Diana renounced any claim to the British throne. Princess Diana's struggle with an eating disorder was no secret, but after splitting from Prince Charles in 1992, the People's Princess embarked on a healthier and more sustainable lifestyle. Her former head chef, Darren McGrady, previously opened up about the changes, saying, "By the time I moved to Kensington Palace, the princess had already confronted her eating disorder and talked about it in the hope that other people would do so. She got her life back on track. She was working out at the gym every day, looking the best she ever did. She had changed. She was now a healthier eater." He went on to share an insight into exactly what she ate in a day. So what did Princess Diana eat for breakfast? As per a 1989 interview in the Saturday Evening Post, Diana typically began her day with grapefruit, muesli, and a slice of toast. When Darren joined Diana during her wellness transformation, she began incorporating more indulgent foods, and one of her preferred dishes, according to Darren, was egg Suzette. This dish comprised of a baked potato hollowed out, filled with wilted spinach at the base, topped with a poached egg, a modest portion of hollandaise sauce, and a garnish of piced potatoes around the edges. And what did Princess Diana eat for lunch? McGrady, her chef, remembers about one of Diana's beloved lunchtime meals, consisting of bell peppers filled with zucchini, mushrooms, rice, mozzarella, and Parmesan cheese. And this was accompanied by a serving of smoked tomato pepper sauce. All of these dishes seemed very healthy. It seemed like she had a really well-balanced meal. And what did Princess Diana eat for dinner? In 1981, a care home in Johannesburg, South Africa, reached out to members of the royal family, requesting the preferred recipes for inclusion in a cookbook. In January of 2020, a response from Diana's private secretary, Oliver Everett, was revealed, indicating that her favorite was a bowl of Ukrainian beetroot soup. The listed ingredients included beetroot, natural yogurt, onions, chicken stock, milk, sour cream, salt, and pepper. And I actually love this soup too. It's really good. It's one of my favorites. And Princess Diana had a limited consumption of red meat. She abstained from beef and pork entirely, occasionally opting for lamb when hosting guests, but generally preferred chicken, fish, or vegetarian alternatives. Concerning condiments, Diana preferred to steer clear of rich sauces and creams. However, she did indulge in a sweet dessert, bread and butter pudding. Darren clarified Diana would enjoy a small portion of this pudding occasionally, but only when William and Harry were at home. She wouldn't request it when she was alone. And her preferences for food were more leaning towards a diet consisting of chicken, fish, and vegetarian dishes, and her chef crafted a variety of recipes for her, ranging from fanciful desserts to simple soups and nourishing fruits. And Diana's culinary choices reflected her commitment to a more balanced and health-oriented eating style. And now let's talk about this bread and butter pudding, which sounds amazing. I want to try it. And it's a delightful and simple British dessert, and it holds a special place for comfort food for Princess Diana, as I mentioned earlier. And have you ever tried this bread pudding? I feel like I may have had some sort of bread pudding, but this one has a luscious layer of custard, and its popularity grew in the 18th century thanks to the widespread availability of butter and eggs in the marketplace. Dense and indulgent, bread and butter pudding held a special place as Princess Diana's favorite dessert. And Princess Diana also drank a lot of homemade veggie juices, and Diana embraced a healthy diet incorporating homemade vegetable juices in her routine. One of her preferred combinations, whether juiced or pureed, included carrots, celery, spinach, and parsley, as reported by Taste of Home. And Diana was an early enthusiast of juicing even before its popularity surged. Her chef often experimented with different fruit and vegetable blends for her. Diana's fondness for beets led her to request an all-encompassing beet juice, although it had to be mixed with apple juice due to a sudden skin reaction. And I love juicing, going on mini 3-day juice cleanses, so I love that she did this in the 90s. And Diana definitely had a low-fat diet, avoiding heavy sauces, creams, and butters. And apparently she also loved Leche Fruit. The princess had a fondness for bowls of leches, a sweet and floral fruit with origins in southern China, referred to as the alligator strawberry. This fruit is recognized for its flavor, which some describe as having a subtle resemblance to strawberries or pears. I haven't had one of those in ages. I feel like they're really pricey here, maybe because they're so exotic and out of season. It is rich in antioxidants and vitamins, particularly vitamin C, belonging to the soapberry family. And it definitely has that weird coarse exterior. But if I had like a private chef like taking out the flesh and like doing it for me and purchasing it, I feel like I'd eat it too. And that was kind of her go-to snack, apparently. And then she also loved lamb and would adhere to mostly a vegetarian diet. But if she did eat meat, as previously mentioned, she had the minted lamb. And she also loved a dish called Poach Chicken. And this is different from roast chicken. And the poached chicken had the skin removed, and it was a healthier alternative. And she also loved the stuffed bell peppers. So it seems like once Diana kind of got into her post-divorce life, she was eating a lot healthier than when she was with Charles. And Diana dedicated her life to her sons and helping others, notably raising awareness about the risks of remaining landmines in war-ravaged Angola. Despite her change in marital status, she sustained a considerable level of public favor. Diana persisted in fulfilling her royal responsibilities and was offered ongoing security by royalty protection officers, which she declined except for instances when she traveled with her sons. And following her divorce, Diana engaged in several romantic relationships. She was in the relationship with the British-Pakistani heart surgeon Hasnat Khan, often referred to as the love of her life, from 1995 to 1997. Later in 1997, she began dating the Egyptian film producer and playboy Dodi Fayed. Reports indicated that certain members of the royal family and former Prime Minister Tony Blair disapproved of Diana's relationship with Dodi. During a visit to Paris, Diana and Dodi were in a car accident in the early hours of August 31st, 1997, while attempting to evade the paparazzi. Dodi and the driver were declared dead at the scene, while Diana initially survived the crash. Unfortunately, she succumbed to her injuries at a Paris hospital a few hours later. Diana was just 36 years old at the time of her tragic death. The sudden and senseless death of Diana shocked the world, triggering a global expression of public sorrow. Queen Elizabeth II, initially criticized for not promptly addressing Diana's death, delivered a televised statement from Buckingham Palace on September 5th. In her address, she expressed,
"No one who knew Diana will ever forget her. Millions of others who never met her, but felt they knew her, will remember her. I, for one, believe there are lessons to be drawn from her life and from the extraordinary and moving reaction to her death. I share in your determination to cherish her memory."
Following an investigation into the fatal car accident involving Diana, a 1999 report concluded that the driver was at fault, driving at a high speed while under the influence of alcohol and antidepressant drugs. Charges against several photographers initially blamed for the crash were dropped. I feel like it was a combination of the paparazzi and the driver, in my opinion. Despite the official report, rumors persisted for years regarding alternative explanations for the accidents. I don't know. I mean, obviously the driver shouldn't have been drinking. Obviously the driver was going too fast. But if the paparazzi weren't chasing them, I know it was really bad back then. Like, she was hounded everywhere she went. So I feel like it was still a combination of things. But I do remember when it happened. This is always like a moment I remember in my life. I remember watching TV, and on the bottom of the screen there was a little like letters that came up, and it says Princess Diana's in critical condition, and she got in a car accident. And I think a little bit later it said Princess Diana was pronounced dead. And I will never forget that day. It is just one of those days you remember. There's a few like that throughout my life. I remember I'll obviously never forget 9/11. I'll never forget the day Michael Jackson died. I don't know, there's just certain days that you never forget, and the day Princess Diana died was one that always stayed with me. She seems like such a fascinating person. Everyone loved her, and she definitely was the people's princess. I'm excited to watch the new season of The Crown featuring Princess Diana. Let me know in the comments below. Do you remember when she died? Did you watch her wedding? Are you a Princess Diana fan? Let me know in the comments below, and please let me know if you have any other video requests about any famous people, their diets, or their life. All right, I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.